Hello friends, how are you today? We bring you this new video, cooking grilled shrimp in SAMAO. For this recipe, we're going to prepare 3 different sauces. The one you see here is cilantro, the next one is chipotle, and the last one is mustard. You'll find the recipes in our description along with the link to each video. First, we're going to butterfly the shrimp. We used about 1 kilo of shrimp. We're going to butterfly them like this. Be careful not to cut yourself. First, we need to do it on the cutting board to open them up properly. And then we can lift it a little. Just be careful with your hands so you don't prick yourself or slip the knife. I recommend using a small knife so you can handle it more easily, since the shrimp are a bit small. If they're too big, you won't be able to handle them well. So use a small knife to avoid any accidents. Look at the beautiful view we have here. We're at the SAMAO Lagoon here in Santa Maria del Oro. And now we'll continue preparing the shrimp. This is how we're doing. Look at these ones we have. We're continuing to butterfly the shrimp. We have to continue with the same process. We also brought some fish fillets that we're going to grill. We'll share that process with you in a moment. Very good, friends. Now that we have all our shrimp cut and butterflied, we're going to start coating them with our sauce so we can put them on our grill. Now, this is the process we're going to follow. We'll use a small spoon to start coating all the shrimp on top so they absorb all the flavor. We're doing it this way because we don't have much chipotle sauce. We'll hurry a bit now and make sure they're all well coated in our sauce, since practically all the flavor comes from this chipotle marinade. Now, we'll tell our chef to hurry up a bit so he doesn't get impatient, and keep watching. See how delicious these grilled shrimp are turning out. Now look, this is how these shrimp look after we just put them on the grill. Look, this is how they look after 2 minutes. Takes about 2 to 3 minutes per side. It will depend a bit on the size and how hot your charcoal is, but it's approximately 2 minutes per side. Once we see them starting to turn a little orange, like this, from the head to the sides, it's time to flip them. Now we turn them over. Look how they look. They look really, really delicious, and you can't imagine the smell, how it smells in here, all the aroma these delicious shrimp and the marinade are releasing. Okay, now we speed things up, we move the camera forward a bit, and the shrimp are ready. After about 2 minutes on the other side, since the coals are a bit high, they came out a little faster and a little charred, but that depends on everyone's taste. They're just a little overcooked, but they're really, really delicious. Look, this is how the first chipotle shrimp look. They look delicious. Let's try them now. Once they're nice and warm, we'll remove the heads. Okay, friends, we've finished the chipotle shrimp. Now we're going to start with the mustard shrimp. Look, since we have a little more of the mixture, we have a little more sauce. Now we're going to start putting all of these in our bowl so they're well coated, completely covered in the dressing or sauce we made. They're really, really delicious. These ones will be a bit creamier. Their flavor is creamier, and they don't really taste like mustard at all. It just gives them a creamy flavor when we eat them. They taste delicious. Now look, this is how they turned out, ready to go on our grill. Look, this is how we put them. This is how they look, well coated with our mustard sauce. Remember, these are the ones with mustard. Just like we prepared the chipotle ones, we're going to make these mustard ones practically the same way. We'll just leave them on for 2 to 3 minutes per side. You just have to see how hot the coals are, since the time will depend on that. If it's very hot, you should take them out sooner. If it's a little cold, you should take them out later. It will depend on how long the shrimp takes, but it's approximately 2 to 3 minutes. Now look at ours. Look how delicious they look. They turned out really, really good. I'll tell you what else I made. We're just going to give them 2 to 3 minutes. We need to see how hot your charcoal is. That will also depend a lot on how sooner or later you take them out, but approximately 2 to 3 minutes. Now we're going to set them aside. Our shrimp are ready. We're going to take them out and put them in this bowl. These turned out really creamy. The sauce is really delicious. I highly recommend them. Look at them, look. This is what the shrimp look like. These are the mustard shrimp. The first ones were the chipotle shrimp, and we still have to make the cilantro ones. Very good, now we're going to make the cilantro ones the same way we did the previous ones. Since we have plenty of sauce, we're going to put our shrimp in the bowl so they're well coated in the sauce, and we're going to arrange them one by one on our grill. Let's tell our chef to hurry up a bit. Look, they're almost all done. Very good, look, this is how they look. These are the cilantro flavored ones. They're made with our cilantro sauce or marinade. Okay, now that we have them all ready on our grill, it's time to put them on the grill. Just like we did before, we're going to do the same process with these. We're going to put them on. Look, this is what they look like. They'll take 2 to 3 minutes, depending on how hot your charcoal is. We were running out of charcoal, so we decided to cook these so we could put more on. But these took a little longer, about 3 to 4 minutes. Look, this is how they're turning out. They turned out really, really delicious. They have a fresher flavor, honestly. They taste great. All 3 sauces and marinades are delicious. I highly recommend them, although each one has its own special touch. Really. Now it's time to take them out. And that's it. We have them all ready. Now we have our kilos of shrimp with the 3 different marinades: Chipotle, mustard, and cilantro. They all have a special touch. They're not as strong as they should be. They just add a little something extra at the end, and they taste really, really good. I highly recommend these marinades or sauces. Now we're going to make some fish. We'll make 2 of each. We bought tilapia fillets, which are practically already filleted. As I said, they're fillets. We're just going to cut them into strips and make kebabs. We'll cut them and stuff them well. We noticed that the fish doesn't absorb the sauce as well as the others. So we decided to make sure it absorbed as much as possible while we were putting it in the bowl. And then, when we have them on the grill, we'll brush them with a little more sauce. Since these didn't absorb as much liquid as the shrimp, they're just as delicious. Look, this is how they came out. This is what they look like. They're almost done, just about ready. We're just going to give them one last turn. Leave them for a minute or 2. These do take a little longer, about 4 minutes per side. Since they're a bit thicker, that's what it depends on. But look at the beautiful view. Here, look at the guys strolling around. Well, friends, that's all for today's video. We're gonna leave you with some shots so you can see what the lagoon looks like, what SAMAO is like. I recommend you come and visit its restaurants. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you like it and subscribe. I'll see you in the next videos.